This is why old folks are such a hassle. You're way past the age where you can work properly. So why don't you just retire already?
I need the money.
You guys are just going to keep getting older and losing whatever little you can still do. How sad. Hilarious.
Is that all you've got to say? You do realize that one day you'll be old too, right? You're a spoiled brat living off your parents with no sense of reality. I hope you wake up to the fact that you, as a person, have no real value. My name is June. I turned 71 last month. I work at a small, old-fashioned local grocery store with my husband, Eugene, who's the same age as me. I handle the register and stock shelves, while he takes care of the produce section. Our pay is low. Really low. Way below minimum wage. It wasn't always like this. We used to get paid fairly for the hours we worked, but
Both of you are over 70, right? In this industry, 70 is the age limit no matter where you go. It's only natural that your wages are going to drop. We're doing you a favor by keeping you on at all.
that's what the new store manager said. The previous manager had to step down due to health issues, and his son, David, took over as the second-generation manager, but the employees hate him. Since the old manager was a good-hearted man, it's even harder to accept this arrogant, inexperienced guy. At first, everyone tried to be patient, thinking David just needed time to adjust. Besides, the former manager had even asked us to support his son, so we decided to put up with it, but there's a limit. From what I hear, this guy, who's already 45, has never held down a steady job. He's hopped from one gig to another, never lasting long anywhere. So why on earth did they make him the manager? Well, he's got a silver tongue.
I have experience in various fields, so I can serve customers with a broad perspective. However, as a manager, I'm still learning. I'd love to learn from all the veteran employees here. I'll approach this job as if I were a new hire.
David's first speech was all humble and charming, but the second he sat in that manager's chair, the real him came out. He would say things like,
Whatever the manager says is final.
and
If you don't work weekends, you're useless.
he would even say,
Hey, isn't it rude not to leave some snacks on the manager's desk?
"Excuse me? Since when was that a thing? Never heard of such nonsense." What really grated on me was that this guy is the same age as my son. That made me want to yell.
What the hell is wrong with you, punk?
All the employees were thinking the same thing,
I'd love to see what kind of parents raised this guy.
and then would sigh as they remembered the kind smile of the former manager. He was a good man, but now that I think about it, he was a total workaholic. Maybe he never had the time to really raise his son. One day, as I was working at the register as usual, I heard someone yelling near the entrance. It sounded like a customer complaint. Obviously, no complaints would be ideal, but in retail, they were just part of the job. A customer was holding what looked like fruit and shouting at one of the teenage part-timers. The store got noisy. I wanted to step in, but I was in the middle of checking someone out. Just then, Sam from the meat department, who had just clocked in, noticed the commotion and said,
I'll check it out.
Sam is a quiet, blunt guy, but he's got a good heart. His name is Samuel, but my husband and I call him Sam, just like everyone does. Yet, he is 45, the same age as the new manager, David. David seems to have a problem with Sam, probably because Sam is well-liked and trusted by everyone. David keeps messing with him, but Sam doesn't seem to care. By the way, my husband is called Gene at work. Sam came up to me and asked,
The customer wants to speak with the manager. Do you know where David is?
He is probably in the back.
I wanted to say,
He is playing on his phone as usual.
but I couldn't say that in front of a customer.
He's doing paperwork.
I'm dealing with a customer, so could you go get him?
Sure.
It was Sam asking, so I couldn't say no. I closed my register, walked through the employee corridor, and headed to the office.
David, a customer is asking for you.
As expected, he was playing a game on his phone, his shoes off, feet up on the desk. What is this? Is this his living room? I had to resist the urge to smack him.
Huh? A customer? Why?
There's a complaint in the produce section. The customer asked to speak with you.
Why? Can't the produce team handle it?
The customer specifically asked for you.
Why me?
That's because you're the manager.
What a pain. Do you expect me to apologize?
Grumbling like it was the worst thing in the world, David dragged himself up, shoved me aside like I was in his way, and left the office. This is so frustrating. All I could do was glare at his back as I followed him.
What seems to be the problem, sir?
Taking over from Sam, David suddenly switched gears.
Oh, I see. You bought an avocado and it was rotten. I sincerely apologize for that. Oh, this is the third time? That must be very frustrating. I completely understand.
Look at that, he's perfectly capable of doing his job, so why does he have to make such a big fuss before stepping up? It's not like his head is going to get any lighter from apologizing a little. The customer exchanged the item and left, satisfied. Then, David spun around and glared at us.
Hey, come on. Who's responsible for this?
That would be me.
Oh, Gene, huh?
Eugene stepped forward, looking apologetic.
Avocados get bruised easily when people press on them, so it's hard to tell if they're bad. Plus, the customer bought it a week ago, so…
Cut the excuses. Seriously, Gene, why do I have to be the one apologizing?
Sorry.
Look, if I step in, I can handle it in seconds. Though, could you guys stop relying on me and deal with these things yourselves?
With that, David strolled right back into the office. Sam placed a reassuring hand on Eugene's shoulder and nodded. Eugene nodded back, and both of them just went back to work. Wait, what? That's it? That's all you're going to do? I was fuming, and I guess my face showed it because Gene turned to me and said,
June, don't let it get to you.
He's right. It's not worth wasting energy on a guy like that. I swallowed my frustration. 3 days later, it was my turn to get a complaint. I was at my register, working as usual, when one of our regular customers, a young mom, approached me hesitantly.
Excuse me. I think this wasn't discounted properly.
It was a pre-packaged meal and the discount sticker had been misplaced, so I had accidentally scanned the original price instead.
Oh no. Thank you for letting me know. I'll refund it right away.
Thank you.
Sorry for not checking properly.
It's okay.
I was grateful that the young mom had come all the way to say that. After that, I reflected on my mistake. It wasn't a huge one, but still, I needed to be more careful. I should also let the deli department know about this. I pulled myself together and resumed ringing up customers. Just then, an announcement came over the store speakers.
Manager's orders. Manager's orders. June Smith at register. Please report to the office immediately.
Wait, me? I was shocked to hear my name called so directly. And manager's orders? What the hell is that? The announcement was usually only used for time-limited evening sales or when calling for extra register support. Everyone around me looked surprised and stared at me.
It's fine, probably. I'm going. Please take over the register.
Did David even realize how much of a hassle it was for the store to have a cashier step away? I had a bad feeling about this.
Hi, David, I'm here. You needed me?
I walked into the office, already feeling defensive. He stood there like some big shot, looking down at me.
Hey, I saw everything. What the hell were you doing?
Excuse me?
You were making mistakes at the register, right? That's unacceptable. All you people do is beep, scan stuff, right?
Are you talking about the discount sticker issued just now?
Yeah, that's right.
As frustrating as it was, the mistake was mine. I had to take responsibility. I had to own up to it.
I'm sorry, it was my mistake. The discount sticker was misaligned, so…
Come on. Seriously? More excuses? Just stop it.
The way he looked down at me from an angle made me sick.
3 days ago, Gene got a complaint, remember? Good thing I handled it, though. And now today, it's his wife getting a complaint. Getting a little too frequent, don't you think?
It just happened to be back-to-back.
This is exactly why old people are such a problem. As I've been saying this forever, 70 is the limit. You can't work properly at your age anymore. Just retire already.
This little punk. Show some respect for your elders. That's what I wanted to say, but I wasn't about to claim I deserved respect just for being older. Yet, this guy was a different story. I didn't have to sit there and listen to some rude, inconsiderate jerk talk down to me.
Are we done here? I'm leaving now.
We're not finished. Are you going deaf?
Is there something else?
You know, I've always wondered, why are you even working so hard at your age?
Being asked such a personal question, I wondered if I was really obligated to answer. Even if I did, would there be any benefit for me? Still, I decided to answer honestly since I wasn't hiding anything.
My husband and I can't live on Social Security alone. We have 6 grandkids. I want to give them gifts on their birthdays and on Christmas. Watching them grow is our biggest joy. Last year, we couldn't even see them because of the pandemic, so now every visit means the world to us. I also want to be able to give them a little spending money to celebrate their graduations and new jobs with a nice gift. Of course, I want to travel with my husband, eat good food, enjoy life. And when the time comes that we can't take care of ourselves, I don't want to be a burden on our kids, so we're saving up. That's why we work.
As I spoke, his mouth slowly dropped open in disbelief. Then, he laughed and said,
Wow, is that so? Hilarious, man, that's rough.
I can't believe he laughed. I knew he was this kind of person, but still, it felt like he had just dismissed everything Eugene and I had built our lives around. A cold wave ran through my chest.
I just can't understand what it's like since I have money flowing in without lifting a finger.
Right, I bet you can't.
You two guys are making $800 a month, right? That's basically nothing. From here on out, you're only going to get older and less capable. Honestly, you're just dead weight for the store. You might as well quit now. This is just sad. Hilarious.
Yeah, I'll think about it.
That was all I could manage to say. My coworkers, the suppliers, the office staff, the delivery drivers, we had all known each other for years. They were all important to me. There was no way I was quitting because of some punk who just showed up out of nowhere. Even so, as much as I hate to admit it, he wasn't wrong. Eugene and I wouldn't be able to keep up forever. I forced a smile so no one would worry and went back to the register, finishing my shift. That night, I told Eugene what had happened at work.
Can you believe it? It was awful.
I said, still fuming. He just nodded, listening quietly. As I talked, frustration and humiliation built up inside me, and before I knew it, tears started falling. Seeing that, he finally spoke.
It's about time.
Time for what?
I asked.
Tomorrow, I'll have a talk with David.
Are you sure?
Yeah, leave it to me.
he said, his voice calm, but when I looked at his face, I froze. Eugene's mouth was curved into a slight smile, but his eyes looked cold like ice. Well, this was his absolutely furious face.
Some clueless brat who's never worked a real job is running his mouth. I think it's time he learned a lesson.
The next day, we went to the office to confront David together. Eugene isn't much of a talker, so I asked,
Do you want me to say something first?
No need. Just let me handle it.
He replied. Once he had made up his mind, there would be no stopping him. There was nothing what I could do. He had mellowed out over the years, but back in the day, he was the kind of dad who didn't hesitate to discipline our son or daughter when they stepped out of line. He wouldn't actually hit David, right? Thankfully, my fears were unfounded.
Wow, if it isn't the complaint couple. You two guys seriously took what I said to heart?
He sneered as we walked in. With a pleasant smile, Eugene replied.
Yeah, we've decided to quit before we become a burden.
David's face twisted in confusion. Indeed, losing workers would be a problem, especially ones willing to work for such low pay.
Come on, Gene. At your age, do you really think anyone else will hire you? You need money, don't you? You should reconsider.
We're planning to open our own store.
Both David and I were stunned.
You're joking, right? That's ridiculous. There's no way you two guys can pull that off.
We're serious.
You really think you can go up against the biggest store in town? You'll have nowhere to go. Just stay here and work until you drop.
He laughed so hard he had to hold his stomach, while Eugene just kept smiling, his icy eyes locked on the man in front of him.
We're leaving. Staying here would only be a burden.
You'd be a burden anywhere you go.
If people found out what you're paying us is illegal, you might be the one in trouble.
Are you threatening me?
No.
There's no way you two guys can start a business. You've got no future. When you fail, you'll lose all your money. Oh, I have an idea. I know what you should do instead.
What is it?
You should get yourselves a cart and start selling hot dogs. That suits an old couple like you.
Hot dogs, huh?
Yeah, you'd look great doing it. As a severance gift, you can take all the ingredients making hot dogs we have in stock. Need anything else?
No, nothing in particular.
Now, get out. Take whatever you need. I couldn't care less if you two guys are gone. This is hilarious. Now, scram.
All right, excuse us.
As Eugene and I hurried out, the office worker watched us with a sad expression.
June, are you really leaving? Without you, who's going to handle inventory and train the new hires?
All I could do was smile and say,
Thank you for saying so, but I'm sorry.
I raised my voice on purpose and called out toward the office.
Tell our former manager we appreciate everything he's done for us.
With that, instead of walking through the store, we left through the back door. I hated that it had to end like this. If only that guy hadn't shown up, this really was a great place to work. On the way home, neither of us said it out loud, but we both felt like we didn't want to go home just yet. Without really thinking, we sat down on a park bench.
So, what now?
I asked. Eugene explained.
We're going to start a new store.
So, you're serious?
Yeah, it's not going to be a hot dog stand though.
I know. You hate hot dogs.
Yeah,
The confidence he had earlier seemed to have disappeared, and he was unusually quiet, which made me irritated.
A new store? Are you thinking of opening a grocery store? With our experience, I don't think it's impossible, but we don't have the money and we can't afford to hire staff. It won't be easy.
well, we'll figure it out.
What do you mean by that? That's what I'm asking you.
It's a long shot, but I put the idea out there, just testing the waters.
What idea?
Just then, someone familiar walked toward us.
He's here.
Wait. Is that Sam? That's Sam.
Sam raised his right hand slightly, and Eugene did the same. That was it. Honestly, what was it with these two? There was always some kind of unspoken understanding between them.
What's up, Sam?
I quit my job too.
What? Why?
Gene, tell me more about that mobile grocery store idea.
What? Wait, hold on. What is this? I haven't even heard about it.
Here's what Eugene explained. With an aging population, there are more and more people who struggle to go grocery shopping, and there's a growing demand for mobile grocery stores. It's a franchise system backed by a major grocery store chain, so we'd have full control over purchasing and pricing with minimal waste. There are designated territories, meaning no direct competition. Besides, because of its scale, support and logistics are solid.
I see. I'd like to hear more about the pros and cons.
There's also grant funding and training programs. Let's all go to an info session together.
In my mind, I was already picturing shelves stocked with groceries.
This sounds really exciting. I want to handle purchasing.
Of course, I am counting on you.
June knows better than anyone what our customers put in their carts.
Monday will be discounted meat day, and on Tuesday, we'll have a fill your bag with produce deal.
Slow down.
Sorry, I just got excited thinking about finally running the store I've always wanted.
When I saw Sam nodding with a smile, it finally hit me.
Hey, Sam, are you sure about this? Your whole life is going to change.
I want to do this. If I can do it as a franchise, it feels more secure. I'm following Gene.
Hearing that, Eugene looked a little embarrassed. I was glad he had such a reliable ally. A week later, the day of the info session for the mobile grocery store arrived. Eugene drove me to the venue.
Are we meeting Sam over there?
Yeah,
Oh, someone is calling me. It's from the manager.
the manager? You mean the old one?
No, it's David.
Just ignore it.
Of course, I'm not answering.
However, the phone kept ringing. As soon as it stopped, it started again. It had been going on for about 10 minutes.
I don't want the battery to run out.
Calling this much. Maybe it's something urgent.
Yeah,
I guess I have no choice. I'll answer. Hello?
Hey, are you kidding me? Where the hell are you?
The shouting was so loud it hurt my ear, but I quickly fired back.
How long do you plan on acting like you're my boss when you're not?
Shut up. You just do whatever the hell you want.
Oh. We haven't done anything. Are you sure you're not mistaken?
Give them back. All of them.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Could you explain?
Just then, we pulled into the parking lot of the venue. As we stepped out, Sam, who had arrived earlier, noticed us and waved.
Oh. That's what David meant.
I suddenly understood what he was screaming about. Around Sam were a bunch of familiar faces, like the part-time cashiers, the office staff, people from the seafood and deli departments, and even the veterans from the service counter.
Wait. Everyone is here. Why?
One of the office workers grinned and said,
We quit the store. No way were we going to waste our time being treated like dirt by that manager.
Then she added,
Sam said, If anyone's more interested in a mobile grocery store than this dump, follow me. As you see, he took a whole bunch of us with him.
Are you all attending the info session?
Yeah, we're really interested.
Hey, hello? Can you hear me?
Oh, right. I was still on the phone with David.
Hey, are you listening? You stole my employees. Give them back right now. I can't even run the store like this.
Hearing him freak out, I finally put the pieces together and responded calmly.
You said it yourself, didn't you?
What do you mean?
You told us to take everything we needed and leave, didn't you?
Huh?
Don't tell me you forgot. We just did exactly what you told us to do.
What are you talking about?
Don't get the wrong idea. This isn't my fault. Looks like everyone was just waiting for the right moment to leave. Anyway, take care.
I hung up on him. Oh, that felt great. Eugene was grinning, too. We were about to get really busy, with no time to deal with someone like that. During the info session, I was so focused on taking notes and asking questions that I didn't notice, but apparently, there had been some commotion at the entrance. Some guy had tried to barge in, yelling.
Give them back. Just give them back.
The security guards stopped him, but he put up such a fight that they called the police. At the station, after hearing his story, the cops told him off for being completely unreasonable.
What a nut job.
As Gene said like it was none of his business, Sam added.
Good thing. It had nothing to do with us.
With no other choice, I chimed in.
Seriously. Let's just steer clear of weird people.
Not long after that, the old grocery store shut down for good. No surprise there. Apparently, the end was a disaster. The shelves were empty, the vegetables were rotting, and expired products were everywhere. Customers flooded the store with complaints. Even then, David kept the store open, yelling at the few high school kids left working.
Fix this. Do something.
That was utterly unbelievable. Longtime customers who had relied on the store were upset, wondering where they were supposed to shop next, but a major grocery store chain was already set to move into the space. They were willing to hire everyone who had quit. That was a relief. In the end, not a single person suffered, except for one. As for our mobile grocery business, sales kept growing, and last month, we were recognized as the top vendor in the region.
I still want to keep going, but in a few years, I might have to give up driving.
It'll be hard to leave now that we've made so many great customers. But when the time comes, we'll step back gracefully.
Gene, my son wants to take over the mobile grocery business someday. Would you let him ride along and train him?
Sam, are you really trusting me with your kid?
Yeah, he doesn't listen to me at all. I need you to set him straight.
If he wants to call himself my successor, I'm going to be tough on him.
Just a second ago, Eugene looked like a man about to retire, but now he is all fired up. Well, I'm not slowing down yet either. There are people counting on us.